Um, let's move on to the worst UI UX.
For me, I think one of the apps which I used fairly frequently, and I don't like the UI UX at all, would be actually Ola.
You know,
Do you guys use SBI as well?
Yeah,
I was
How do I come up with new passwords every 3 months?
but look, I think it's also important to understand that India is a large country and there are multiple types of audiences in India. So, app building for a tier 3 audience versus an app building for a tier 1 audience will obviously be different.
Yeah.
Shadi.com is a horrible app. Yeah, just because you're not getting a vibe doesn't mean yeah. YesMadam's worst marketing campaign ever.
This is the corporate version of "It's not you, it's me."
Always remember, HR is never your friend.
Everyone is calling Samayana to get their company roasted by themselves.
Yeah, we saw an
Isn't that an interesting pattern?
Like, I'm never going to use YesMadam, especially after this. Welcome to this week's edition of the Indian Startup Desktop. Let's go.
Hello, guys.
Hello, guys.
Be cognizant at work. Oh, this is funny. So, a cognizant employee is mailing their HR. Hi, Momita. We have had some near-death experience yesterday when Bimal was farting on a recursive
Oh my God.
would request you to kindly address the matter. Imagine receiving a mail from your HR
Oh
and saying,
God.
this is your last fart, you cannot fart in office again. If you're farting, make sure nobody hears you.
Poor Bimal, dude.
Oh God. May the
Imagine like how much effort Arijit must have put to identify that it was Bimal.
Let's move on to the worst UI UX. Let's do this slightly differently. Why don't all three of us pick our Indian startup for the worst UI UX and let's see what Reddit or Bitcoin has had to say about that. Saksham, do you want to go first?
Sure. For me, I think one of the apps which I used fairly frequently, and I don't like the UI UX at all, would be actually Ola. And I think multiple reasons. One of obviously is their GPS and maps don't work properly. Their tracking is not, it's just super inefficient. Also, when you want to book a cab for someone else where the location would be different than my current location, it still asks me to connect my GPS, which again doesn't make sense. Also, app keeps going on and off every time you open it, reopen it to track your ride. So I just think it's a really bad UX considering the amount of penetration Ola has in our country.
Pavan, what do you think?
All the leading PSU bank apps, SBI specifically. I've been a big customer of SBI for a long time.
Pavan,
The
who
number of
hasn't been?
OTPs you need.
Who
That's
hasn't
an easy
been?
I don't think
answer.
so.
Everybody knows.
Do you guys use SBI as well?
Yeah,
I
you
was
know,
surprised. See, Pete doesn't. So, Ono is shared, Uno is shared, their website. You need like 6, 7 OTPs to do any activity. The way
Oh,
they have
yes.
designed the app layout altogether, the number of time it gets stuck, the number of failures it has, it's a pathetic experience.
Actually, the fact you mentioned SBI, every 3 to 6 months you have to change your passwords, both your profile password and your internet banking password. And I'm always just like, how do I come up with new passwords every 3 months?
Yeah,
Good.
that would be still fine with me because of security, but make the basics things happen first, like the layout or latency or success rate. You guys have such a big pat. A startup which has like a 1/100th of your funding or a valuation also has like a much better user experience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Pete, you go.
this is the first advantage mode for SBI, I guess. But anyway, my answer would be MyGate. I hate that fucking app. It's so chaotic. There's so much noise. 95% of the things that I see on the app is irrelevant to me, but for some reason these fuckers keep showing that to me. But look, I think it's also important to understand that India is a large country and there are multiple types of audiences in India. So app building for a tier 3 audience versus an app building for a tier 1 audience will obviously be different.
Yeah.
So obviously we all have to factor in all of these aspects before we say which app is horrible or not. But let's see some of the comments. This didn't blow up as much of the other post, but I think it's still got a bunch of crazy answers. Unappealing. Zepto, Big Basket, all Geo apps, OLX, no broker. Does its job. Urban Company, Razorpay, Kite, Grow. Good ones, Hotstar, Swiggy, Blinkit, District. Can't decide trend. That must hurt them a lot. Shadi.com is a horrible app. Yeah, just because you're not getting a wife doesn't mean sorry. Okay. Yeah, even Zepto is too blingy and unattractive, man. They also I feel like bombard you with so many shiny things, it just looks a little chaotic.
Yeah, and also the fact that you can't track your delivery, for them it was to reduce anxiety, but I personally feel it increases your anxiety because it never shows up in 8 to 10 minutes what it shows, and
I
then you're
agree.
always wondering where is my order? I can't even track it.
I agree. I agree. It's too expensive for them to use that, Maps API and essentially pay for order. And secondly, if we have that tracking, we are just going to keep staring at it. And as we know, no fucking app delivers, on time.
Yeah.
So I think it's best if they don't show it only now.
One of the worst apps that I've been observing going down the drain in last few months also has been Amazon. It used to be a decent UI before, but now with other UIs being more progressive and much better in the user flow, Amazon is such a shit UI. I need to figure out, like, by doing some 7 clicks to understand where my past orders are,
Yeah.
Yeah.
whether my order is coming or not. If the payment fee fails, my order still goes through so that I can make the payment somewhere later on my WhatsApp when they send me a message.
So, Jeff Bezos, if you're watching this, please take Pawan's advice seriously. You'll get 200 rupees more of revenue in the next quarter.
Big fan, sir. Big fan, sir.
Anyway, let's move on to the story of the week. Yes, Madam's worst marketing campaign ever. So, Yes, Madam, which is basically a salon services company, dropped an email to their HR. Recently, we conducted a survey to understand your feelings about stress at work. Many of you shared your concerns, which we deeply value and respect. As a company committed to fostering a healthy and supportive work environment, we have carefully considered the feedback. To ensure that no one remains stressed at work, we have made the difficult decision to part ways with employees
Fuck.
who experienced significant stress. This decision is effective immediately and impacted employees will receive further details separately. Thank you for your considerations. What the fuck? Look at this
Oh my
post.
God. This is the corporate version of it's not you, it's me.
The interesting part for me was when I read this, I was like, Deepinder Goyal should stop publishing his insights document on how to go viral.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
it
man.
also
Like,
goes to show that whenever the HR says, oh, it's an anonymous review, let's be clear that it is not.
That's the other part of
yeah, I remember one post saying, always remember HR is never your friend.
it.
But the thing that gets my goat is that I don't understand why companies think all marketing is good marketing, right? Like there is
But don't you preach this all the time, Pete?
sorry, what?
But don't you say this all the time that our marketing is good marketing?
I don't say that. I think there is taste. I think you have to be creative. Look, it's if somebody is talking about your brand, doesn't mean the marketing has done well. It's
Yeah.
about what emotions they feel when they think about you, when they talk about you, when they see you. And that's what marketing is all about. Not just, anybody's doing some random shit and people are basically going gung ho over it or talking about it. I think that's
Yeah.
that's very lazy way of looking at marketing itself. And
Yeah.
increasingly, a lot of Indian companies are doing that. If you look at the West, no, I think they have slightly more sophisticated taste and a lot more style in the way they do things, and that's just a fact.
Yeah. Yeah.
But one
So
question: did you guys know about Yes Madam before this?
I
no,
didn't.
Something works out for them. That's
but
what I
that's my
think.
point. Okay, fine. Even before we get to that, let's see. So this blew up on Twitter, LinkedIn, etc. And Yes Madam's come out with a very important update on that. This is what they're saying. We sincerely apologize for any distress caused by recent social media posts suggesting we dismissed employees for being stressed. Let us be clear, we would never take such an inhuman action step. Our team is like a family, and their dedication, hard work, and passion are the foundation of all our successes. Blah blah blah. They weren't fired. They were given a break to reset. They weren't let go. They were encouraged to release their stress. They weren't laid off. They were offered a chance to relax. They weren't sacked. They were urged to rest and recharge. Look, the first thing that comes to my mind is Yes Madam, which is a fucking app that allows you to book hair salon services. Why would you talk about mental health? It's not your forte. People are not going to look at you for that. So why would you even do something that's vague, that's clearly out of your depth, right?
Yeah. Also, just on that post, those four statements are literally the same statements. Like, like what are they saying? Break to reset, release stress, chance to relax, chance to reset.
I think
Like,
someone discovered ChatGPT a bit back.
ChatGPT.
yeah. But I have one word for this guy. This is absolutely atrocious. And what is with? I mean, we've
That's too
noticed it so
much.
much, right? What is with all these companies these days getting in trouble for saying shit, and then immediately releasing a new Twitter post or a clarifying, email,
Hmm.
saying that it was misunderstood. Like, come on, guys, are you being for real? This is
I
started
feel
happening
like
way too much.
Go, Pawan.
marketing is going through like a different turn, and nothing that worked like in last 5 6 years or last 10 years is working anymore. What's working
This
is just virality.
that post was hilarious.
Suraj Pandey School of Marketing.
Everyone is calling Samayana to get their company roasted by themselves.
Yeah, we saw an
Isn't that an
academy thing.
interesting pattern?
We saw the
People have,
Unacademy 9 years
yeah,
thing.
people have started to think that let's get ourselves roasted. Let's get ourselves in a controversy. कुछ ना कुछ marketing तो हो ही जाएगा उसमें से.
Yeah, people should somehow talk about us. Who doesn't
Yeah,
care why, what, how? People should somehow talk about us. That's the only goal these companies basically aim for. But yeah, I remember someone telling, I mean, and look, there is a huge bunch of people on, socials who think that all marketing is good marketing. No, if people talk about, yes, madam, they think it's considered a success. So yeah, like everyone to themselves. If it works for them, then kudos to you. But I just think this very like I'm never going to use yes, madam, especially after this. Like if their service is good, obviously I'll think about it, later down the line. But this just gave me a very negative perspective,
Yeah.
perception about them. Perception about them. Sorry. Who's your CEO? Okay, let's move on to the weekly chatter. This is a topic that Pavan, Saksham, and I have spoken about a lot, during our office times. But self-serve or not? So self-serve is basically when you build an app or a platform, and a customer discovers this platform through an ad, through content, through any other, portal, and the customer starts using the product without a sales team member or any rep calling them and talking them through the entire process. Now, we've all heard this, right? Self-serve works a lot in the US, but does not work great in India, primarily because Indians value time, money over time, and a bunch of other aspects that we'll definitely get into. But however, this is a very nice observation. We cold email a potential customer. They don't respond. We check logs 2 months later. They've been using and paying for our product ever since. These aren't even small startups. In the logs today, I discovered a Series C company and a 12,000-person enterprise. If you are a dev tool, consider building self-serve on day one. Now, is it a TG thing? Is it an industry thing? Is it, none of these things? Let's get into it. Pavan, what are your quick thoughts?
I think so. It depends a lot on product as well. It can be mix of few metrics that you mentioned. But the interesting part is, I've been figuring this out for last 7 8 months now. That the way customer responds back to you, or the way customer treats you, or the way you get incentivized from customer, or you kickstart a monetization, has a lot to do with one, your product value for that particular individual customer, and two, how they are perceiving you. If it's a push sale, right, the customer always has a perception in his mind that I'm being sold something here. I need to purchase
Yeah.
something here. On the other end, if the customer comes from product led growth perspective, he's never been push sold it. He's never been pushed towards buying it. He's coming organically there. He's being slightly motivated to come there, and then he figures out, and if he likes the product, he will buy it or not buy it. More often I have found out that wherever you're pushing really hard to get the door open or get the sales done, there is a less number of chance or less proportional chance that they will like the product or they are going to buy it. The most good sales or conversions have always been a surprise to me. They'll be like, I did not expect that this will close out. I did not expect that they will go on a pilot. I did not expect that their team would like this. But surprisingly, they are the ones who are getting faster converted. That's one of my interesting observations.
Hmm.
Saksham, you want to jump in?
Hmm. Yeah, while I agree to some of the things Pawan you mentioned, I also think it is very, very dependent on the customer persona for that same product itself, right? Obviously, we have seen customers like, even the tweet says, right? There could be some companies who are Series A, Series B, Series C who want to move fast and who are obviously more sort of self-sufficient, self-aware, updated with the latest technology. So they can understand all this. In fact, just the fact that they can navigate through a self-serve portal is itself a skill which a lot of folks and old organizations don't possess. So I think it's also largely dependent on that. Uh, And what I think we've also done this Pete long back, when we used to work together, we've actually seen that once you start tracking clicks from some of these cold emails, we realize that it is actually driving traffic. While nobody replies, people do check you out, and that
Yeah.
actually leads to some conversion. So at least for that, if you have a self-serve portal, I think it's great, and it's a must-have that every organization should have, especially organizations who are all product first.
Yeah, so I think there is a little bit of nuance into this. No, I inherently believe that this depends, one, on the industry you're in, two, the size of the company that you're in, and three, the kind of personas that you sell to as well. If the decision maker to buy or to buy the software is not the user of that software, self-serve will never work, because there is a huge gap between the decision maker and the product user per se. If the decision, or if the product user is, let's say, someone from a legal background, someone from a finance background, these aren't personas that typically aren't considered to
Yeah.
be very tech savvy, so they themselves will never use a product. They need to be hard sold, they need to be marketed towards, and they need to be onboarded in a very efficient manner as well. So there is a little, I do agree with whatever you guys are saying, but there is a lot more nuance into this as well.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
one good example there is like OpenAI as a company. They have two products. There is OpenAI API. There
Exactly.
is ChatGPT. I don't think so. ChatGPT as a tool needs any outward sales team. It's
Let's
a
talk
product
about
led growth
Indian
model.
startups, right, Pavan? Which Indian startup do you think has solved self-serve very well? And we're talking purely on B2B, because B2C in some sense is always or mostly self-serve.
I think so. Razorpay in some ways have solved for like a product led growth model, but although it's not a great like 2 click or a 2 minute onboarding journey, there is a call involved later which asks like extra documents and all.
There is.
Uh,
Sure. Do you want to give your answer?
Bharat Pay for businesses. They take the QR code and go to customer, put it on their storefront, and everything is done. You don't even need to do a KYC for collecting payments up to 1 lakh. That's a pretty much self-service what I feel. From user's perspective, I just click the button and that guy's come. He has put the QR code, he has done the formality, he'll leave.
Yeah.
Hmm. I think also in that sense, maybe some of the insurance companies, to be honest, like I recently renewed my car insurance, and I, instead of going the traditional route of going with, uh, the incumbent insurance companies, I actually tried exploring Aggo, Digit, some of these insurance companies, and the process is just extremely efficient. Like it took me all of 6 hours for doing the application. I could submit all my documents online. One person came home. I didn't have to follow up at all. Like within 6 hours of time, I had my process done, my KYC done, my physical verification done, and my policy copy was with me. So I think it was just super efficient. So I think maybe in some
I'll tell
sense
you.
they've solved this very well.
I'll tell you another tool that I know both of you will agree with for sure. What about ClearTax?
Oh, ClearTax. Oh, I have worked at ClearTax. Oh my God.
Exactly. Like everybody will literally use them, and it's so easy, right? You just Google Form 16, you'll get some 10 clear tax articles. Just go and start using them by going through one of these articles. I
Yeah.
think
Actually, I have learned
it's
so
really
much about just,
everything.
I think just a lot of articles that ClearTax has put out just for an educational purpose.
SEO.
And you
Yeah,
want anything, they have sort of everything available. You are a tax professional, you are a chartered accountant, you are a normal taxpayer, you are a B2B, large organization. They have a solution for everything. I think it's great. Yeah.
okay. Let's move on. Skyscanner for quick commerce. Oh, I know
Mm.
Saksham loves this. Surf Excel liquid detergent, MRP 795, Amazon 590, Zepto 530, Swiggy, Instamart 501. And there are many others that I didn't check. Blinkit, Big Basket, Flipkart, Zepto, etc. Need for a Skyscanner for quick or e-commerce apps. Do we already have one? For the FMCG category, does it boil down to just price at the end? Hmm. Saksham, give us your take.
Yeah, extremely interesting, I think, topic to discuss. I think there is definitely merit in making, an aggregator app like this. But some of the things that we'll have to keep in mind, I think one minor difference that I at least feel we have is while trying to book a flight versus grocery shopping, is that we mostly purchase one or two flight tickets at a time. But with groceries, we buy them in bulk, which also means that groceries will be across different categories. So there is a high chance that a price of a Surf Excel might be lower in a Zepto versus the price of a potato could be lower in Blinkit, right? So there
Is
has to be
this
an app which aggregates this and says, which category of groceries is cheaper on which app. And then I recently saw Swiggy actually released a new feature where they're actually applying coupons and you get the option to pay by default. So you don't have to search through the coupons, they will apply the best coupon for you. So maybe this aggregator app should also then apply the necessary coupon basis the category or different apps and then sort of make an amalgamation. I think it can be a
Uh,
great business.
Pavan, before you jump in, Saksham, on the Swiggy point, right? The problem is a lot of other apps don't apply these coupons proactively. Like Zepto, for example, they always want you to go and do it manually. So
Yeah.
it's just very hard to trust which app does this for me, which app doesn't trust for me. So I go and double check the coupon thing each and
Yeah.
every fucking time I do it. It's just otherwise you can't trust these apps, man. You know what, we spoke about dark patterns in the previous episode, so you
Yeah.
never know. Pavan, you want to give
This
your take
and
now?
this entire coupon thing only is a sham. Like when you know that you are the one who are discounting it, and as a customer, I also know that at the end you will be compensating that with some other margins for yourself. Just eliminate out. Give the best price possible for the customer and move it. Why do you even want to have that extra click there? Like if you have card-based orders and all, you already know which cards I have. Apply and give me the best offer directly.
So guys,
But on
check
this
out
point, this was
compare
an
dot.
interesting website. I didn't know this actually.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Guys, you should check it out. We'll add the link in our comment section. So
They
I'll tell
are
you a very interesting take on this. Okay, so this week at home, I wanted to buy some groceries, but my mom and my dad and my parents are still not a fan of Blinkit. And their point of view is that every time we order from Blinkit, and this is for small things like groceries, she's like, when I go to a vegetable market and buy a tomato or potato or whatever, it's like 1.5x the price is hiked on a Blinkit. So if
Yeah.
I'm going to buy groceries for a week, I end up spending like 300-400 bucks lesser as opposed to ordering online. And it's sure it's a half an hour effort, but I think that's the also the mentality that a lot of our parents have. We care more about the convenience. They actually care about whether the product is coming to them at the fair price or not.
And good quality. I
And
completely
actually
agree with the point.
quality is the most important factor because my mom was
Yeah.
like, okay, a potato is not fresh on Blinkit. If I need a spinach, it's not fresh on Blinkit. I'll go and find it out myself. It will be fresher and it will be cheaper.
Another aspect which can kind of add on quality is loyalty. So my mom also, we have Blinkit, Instamart, Zepto, even here in Cochin, where I'm currently from right now. But my mom still calls the local kirana shop and asks them to give stuff. And I asked her why. She was like, "Dude, I order from them at least, let's say, 50 times in a month. So if I call this neighborhood guy, he knows me, so he knows he has to come and deliver within 5 minutes. A Swiggy, a Zepto, or a Blinkit is not going to look at me like that. They're going to see thousand other customers like me,
Yeah.
and it's just first come first serve. So
Yeah.
that customer service and extra bit of loyalty that they can give back is also missing in these apps, and I'm not sure how they can incorporate this. They're trying to do it through Swiggy super special, Zepto one user stuff like that, but I just don't think it's as effective as a human relation right now. Okay,
yeah.
let's move on from this
But yeah,
topic.
quite a big differentiator on the Skyscanner for a quick commerce idea, right? I think so. The largest differentiator actually comes from all these charges that they put on top of MRP, the handling charge, platform fee, then surge fee, XYZ. That's what makes Swiggy's total price different than an Zepto's total price. And I think so. Comparing just MRPs of product, how much are they available on each platform, is not going to solve it.
That's a good catch, actually. That's a good catch.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
agree. Okay, moving on to the elafda of the week, Chaayos. So Chaayos, which used to be a very popular chai brand in India, got some shit recently. So Simon Bong, from Singapore, basically to Delhi, and look at his tweet. The impossible happened. I just had a cup of tasteless chai in Gurgaon, rupees 169 with tax at Sea Wong. The true beauty of India lies in her people. I am overwhelmed by the torrent of invitations to have a cup of the best homemade chai. I humbly thank you all. That's so sweet, honestly. The founder of Chaayos replied, Honorable Mr. Wong, I am Nitin, founder of Chaayos. In the name of deep India SG friendship, I invite you for a cup of chai at a Chaayos near you. And as we enjoy our chai, I will share our commitment to get every chai right, including our no questions asked chai refill feature. Chai is just chai, bro. Just tell them that you'll give them chai next time. Don't make it too.
And guys, Chaayos, I mean, makes very decent tea.
It used to be great, but I don't think they're as good anymore. I used to
Hmm.
love Chaayos. Like I used to order 3-4 years back, like almost very consistently, in fact. But I just can't stand that tea anymore.
But Pete, imagine you being in shoes of Mr. Wong from Singapore and having this conversation with your Tapri guy.
Bro, they'll tell me go have chai somewhere else.
That's how we should deal with her. Like, oh my God, so much complicated. Put out Twitter and all now.
Yeah,
But a
but you
chai
know,
for 170 rupees, guys. Like,
so
that's
there's
also very
also there's
interesting.
also another reason why people jumped at the opportunity to fuck with Chaayos, because a couple of years back, Chaayos got into some shit because uh, Indian cafes facial recognition use sparks anger.
So this is 5 years
Why?
old. Wow.
Yeah, okay, for a couple of years back, but a company selling tea wanted to implement this new age technology, which was unnecessarily intrusive, and there was no opt out option, which is problematic, and that's fucking crazy, right?
Yeah, I mean, guys, let's just say Chaayos was ahead of its time.
No, it's basically like now we have a solution. Let's find a problem to that.
Yeah.
That's smart thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Someone in team must have been on a project, some intern must have built it like, how can use kare isko? Where should we use it now? We'll do it for every customer.
This is the guy who's big on data privacy and stuff like that. I remember he had a problem with Digiyatra app as well, which is for all the right reasons. But yeah, it's good that we can have these conversations in open forums just to understand perspectives from all sides, right?
Yeah.
If Chayos had done that and it worked and everybody copied them, they would have been heralded as the next big thing. But the fact that it didn't, means that we get to poke fun
Yep.
at them.
Yes. Like Pawan says, preach, only preach when you become successful.
Oh my God. When did I say that? I don't know.
Last episode.
Awesome.
Every episode, Pawan.
Awesome. That's it from this week's edition of the Indian Startup Desktop. Please don't forget to subscribe to our channel below. Bye.
Bye bye.